saying.
Okay, and now as we go to break, I can tell you, Underdog has put the period on this discussion with this, that Draymond, you've had 43 of those games with more turnovers than made field goals. That is tied for the most since what year?
Yeah, but he's not a scorer.
Since 2003.
But that's not
Hold it.
Now that's unfair. That's unfair to you.
No, you let me get through the end of this. Hey.
Okay.
Tied with Kendrick Perkins for the most.
Oh, come
You ain't even have to go that far.
Hey, man, I never punch down. Draymond's a good player. We're not on the same level.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. Listen to this. Charles Barkley has finally responded to everything Draymond Green had to say about him. And hold up, he didn't even go the live debate route this time. People have been talking about it for days, and now he pulled up on Dan Patrick's show to address it directly. And Barkley was basically like, look, I could throw stats at you, I could break it down piece by piece, but at the end of the day, am I really saying anything that people don't already know? He made it clear that Charles Barkley is simply the superior basketball player by a wide margin. In his words, Draymond knows it, everybody who's ever touched a basketball knows it, even Draymond's own Warriors teammates understand it. But here's where it gets real. Chuck also knows his blunt way of speaking has rubbed a lot of modern players the wrong way. And honestly, that tension has been building for years. There was even a time when Inside the NBA was loved everywhere. But then you go on X and see people calling to cancel the show over comments made about players. That's how sensitive the space has become. Everything gets taken personally now. And I'm not saying people can't defend themselves, but some of the backlash hasn't even been about basketball anymore. It's turned into something bigger than the game. And I'm gonna break down exactly what Chuck said and how all of this connects back to Draymond's comments.
And Draymond going at it, you were being honest to Draymond that it's over in Golden State, and then he made it personal where he took a shot at you when you were chasing a ring in Houston. How did it go when you go to commercial break after something like that, or the rest of the night? How's it go?
Well, number one, I don't ever take anything. You can never take personal shots at guys. You know, I've said that in my 26 years. My critiques of every player or coach is only about the situation. He took a shot at me, but I don't get offended because other guys, I've said things about guys and they took personal shots at me. You know, it's so funny. Last time you had me on the show, I told you I regretted those Rocket years, especially the last two, which I sucked as a player. But I wouldn't turn down no free money. I had 2 years. I had 2 years left on my contract, and I
yeah, but you can
money.
say it though, Charles. That my issue with Draymond, if he wants to do this, you know, be in TV, is get a sense of humor. He takes everything personally. You were just saying, look, it's over with the Warriors. And now he can't say it, but you were just saying it's over. And then he made it personal with you instead of having...
Well, he made it personal. Listen, man, it's so funny. There's a couple things. The Warriors haven't been relevant for 3 or 4 years. They've been in the play-in. So when you're in the play-in, you're not in the playoffs. You're in the play. That's something Adam Silver. Who I love Adam Silver. I love Adam Silver. But the play-in is something they just made up to have more games to put on a different network. And when you're in the play-in, the Rockets been in, the Warriors been in the play-in, I think, 4 straight years. So they've been irrelevant. And I know he don't want to say it, but, and listen, you know, everybody getting mad when I say this. Old people don't get healthy. Old people die. Okay? They don't get healthy. The notion that him and Steph gonna get better when they get healthy and being a year older, they're not. They're just gonna get older, Dan. So it's over for Golden State. They had a great run. And he should, he took a personal shot at me, but I'm not sensitive. But yeah, it's been over in Golden State. I mean, if Golden State was relevant, he wouldn't be in the studio with me. Listen, man, hey, I wouldn't trade my career for Draymond's. I'm pretty sure Karl Malone wouldn't. I'm pretty sure Patrick Ewing wouldn't. But Draymond's had a really a terrific career. But to think he's on the same level with us as players, you'd have to be crazy to think that.
This whole thing starts with Draymond and his take on the so-called new media. Hold up, because all of this is really bubbling to the surface whenever he starts breaking down the new media. And he wasn't just aiming at Stephen A. and Skip's style of doing things. He was also coming at inside the NBA and this whole era, saying it's gotten way too soft. And you know Draymond, Mr. Triple Single himself, so of course he's going to take that as a shot and jump right in with his response. But here's the thing, you can't say anything about his game without it turning into a whole situation. Honestly, he probably needs to dial it back a bit and not sound so emotional when he responds. You could literally hear the tone shift, the huffing and puffing, and it felt like it was coming from a real sensitive place. It wasn't just a quick snapback moment either, something like Shaq saying 4 rings when he takes his shots. He does all of that too, and let's be real, Shaq can get pretty sensitive as well. Draymond's been sitting on this for a while, and in his mind, he's basically speaking up for everyone they go at. Then you've got LeBron stepping into media spaces now, and other players are also jumping into the media saying folks aren't even talking about real basketball anymore. All right, cool, I hear that. But listen, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Melo in the studio with Dirk Nowitzki and Blake Griffin, those guys are doing a solid job. If you want pure basketball talk, John Wall also does an excellent job whenever he's on. So if you just want straight basketball takes without the entertainment fluff, yeah, there are alternatives out there now. But Chuck does, to be fair, drop some really strong points about this era sometimes. And let's be real, all of this really took off when teaming up became the norm. When that whole teaming up era hit, LeBron going to Miami, KD going to Golden State, that 2010 stretch is when fans really started turning on inside the NBA. And there have been plenty of other comments about players that have really rubbed this era the wrong way. If I'm Rudy Gobert or someone like that, I'd be heated at Shaq and them for straight up saying I don't deserve the money. Maybe I do miss some easy layups at the rim like Rudy Gobert, and yeah, it'll have people scratching their heads, but don't come for my paycheck like that, because I'm still getting paid regardless. So yeah, I definitely feel some type of way about it. But when it comes to teaming up, the so-called softness of this era, everybody wanting to be friends or dynasties fading out, all of that talk, there's really only one answer to all of it. Go out there and prove it on the floor. But with Draymond as the handoff guy, Steph taking 20+ shots a night, bombing threes and running around like he's still in his prime youth. First off, he's not going to stay fully healthy all season trying to move like he used to. That's why, in my opinion, it might be time for Steve Kerr to no longer be leading that team. They need a completely different style of offense built around Steph. I'd honestly love to see Steph transition into more of a traditional point guard role. He might need to play more away from Draymond at this point. Stop using him as the main focal point all the time. Just imagine Steph Curry on a roster loaded with options, almost like that balanced Dallas team with Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, and those multiple threats. Or even that early version of the Warriors with real depth, where Steph doesn't have to do everything, isn't forced into constant pick-and-roll duty, but instead gets real pick-and-pop looks and easier reads as a point guard. Let him, toward the end of his career, just make normal point guard reads again. Let him finish the game that way. And look, I know some people might think I'm crazy for this, but he literally went back to Davidson in that 3rd year to develop his game like that. Remember, Davidson's team took a step back, but his focus was on learning the point guard position. And remember, he didn't immediately jump to the league after that incredible March Madness run. He went back to refine and perfect that position even further. I genuinely think Steph should finish his career as a true point guard, not an assistant with Draymond just handing off and him still forced into high-volume shooting. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.